All right, so first of all, I just wanted to show you the images that I've picked. So I've picked a bunch of images. I have a photo of myself that I took from my phone and I converted from an HEIC to a JPEG. I have some of these other images. It took me a long time to find a bookshelf image that was large enough. So these are the images that I have. And you can tell that some of them already have their background removed, some of them don't. But this is kind of my starting place. This is where I've done this and I put them all in a folder that says Surreal Self-Portrait so that I know where they are. All right, so now I am heading into my Photoshop and I'm going to make a new file. And then at this stage, I always go up to print. I do letter size, and then I do portrait. It's 300 resolution, and then I do create. Okay. So this is always my starting place here. Um, and the next thing that I'm going to do, let me just kind of try and get this down a little bit. The next thing that I'm going to do is um, is that I'm going to open some of my other, first I'm going to open my background. I'm going to open my chair, cloud, cookies, Europe, um, my picture, oven, toddlers. I'm going to open them all. And a bunch of different files are going to show up here, right? So this is my main one. This is where I'm going to do all my work on it. So I'm going to go ahead and save this one so that I can, so this is where I'm going to put everything that I want to put. So I am going to come into here into my photo and I'm going to select subject. This one kind of works pretty quick. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to drag it into my untitled and then back down. And here I am. I'm not going to be that big. I'm going to make myself a little smaller. And I actually want to um, do this. So I'm going to move it so that I'm here. I want to give lots of room because I'm planning on doing a lot of different things here. I actually might make myself a little bit bigger so my head's a little bigger for what I kind of want to do. Okay. So that's my starting thing. Look over here on layers. I've got a white background and I have a layer, which is this cutout picture. So we're going to be working a lot with different layers. Now I need to go to my bookshelf. Okay. And so this is gorgeous, of course. So I'm going to just take this whole thing. Okay. I'm going to take this whole thing and I am going to come into my untitled and bring it down. Okay. So here is my bookshelf and I'm going to, in this case, I'm going to make it big. And then I'm going to just double it up. So I'm going to go done. And I'm going to remember how to duplicate. I'm going to hold down my Alt button first. Then I'm going to click on this and then I'm going to drag it down. Okay, so this is what this looks like. And then I'm going to let go. Okay. So this is what it looks like right now. I need to come back over here to my layers and put myself in front of the bookshelf. Okay. And I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to come down here um, to my layer. Okay. And one of the things I'm going to do is I am going to add a new layer. So hold on a second. I want to make sure you can see this. Um, I am going to add a new layer on top of this. So here's my new layer, okay? And I want to do a blend so what's underneath these two layers will be a little blended. So I'm going to click on this, and then I'm going to come up here to these different. Um, Let me just head here for a second. I'm in this layer, and I want my just kind of chose both my level 2 copy and my level 2. And then I'm going to kind of go down here and see what this looks like. Okay, so I'm going to try some different things. I think I'm going to keep that on the difference. So I'm going to make this very different. It's going to be blue. And did you see what I did? This was at normal. Okay. I've selected by holding down control. I've selected both of these. And then I've come up to normal and I've tried some different things. And I've decided that I want it to be this blue. So I'm going to apply that. Okay. And so I've changed that, that layer mode. And that's going to be kind of my starting place. So I'm on top, and then the backgrounds are below. Okay. So I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to click on here on the layer, okay? And I'm going to zoom in, okay? Maybe not that far. I'm going to zoom in here. And then I'm going to come over here wait, um, to the lasso tool, okay? And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure that I'm here on layer 1. And I am going to cut my head. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do some kind of jagged edge here. And then I have to go all the way back to close the loop. Okay. Then I'm going to do Control X. And then my head fell off. Okay. So now it's cut. I did Control X because I want to bring back my head. So I'm in layer 1. I'm going to add a layer above it. Click on this on layer 4 now, and I'm going to do Control V to bring back my head. Okay, so here it is. To get it, I'm going to select the subject in that layer. There it is. And I'm going to go to my move tool and I'm going to move that up. Okay. I'm going to deselect it. Okay. So this is a space in my head. Maybe I could have done this a little better. But now I'm going to put cookies in my head. Okay. So I'm going to come back over here to my cookies. And I don't want to select subject because I don't know what's going to happen. Instead, I'm going to come up over here and I'm going to actually choose my quick selection tool. And I'm going to come over here. And just because of what I'm happen to do here, I don't have to be too careful because I'm going to be putting it between my head. And there I am. And now I'm going to get my move. And I'm going to take these cookies and put them down here. Okay. So I'm going to put them here. Okay. Now I want those cookies behind both parts of my head. Okay. So I'm going to take this layer that has the cookies and I'm going to put them underneath me. Okay. So this is important because now it's always in between my head. Okay. Now, what I'd like to do is put these cookies horizontally here. So I'm going to, actually, let me just show you what I want to do here. So if I want to change this around, um, I can move it like this. If my cursor goes outside of one of these rectangle, these little squares at the end, if I'm on the rectangle, oh, let me just see. If I'm just outside of the rectangle, the arrows turn curly. So I'm going to kind of put it around like that. And now what I'm going to do is put those in my head, but I need to make them quite a bit smaller. So I'm going to make them quite a bit smaller. And I'm now getting all these error messages in my head. I'm going to put those in between my head. And I just want to make sure that I've got them so that, and then maybe what I'm going to do is go up here to my other layer and bring these over. So it looks a little more like that. Now it's a little weird, it's a little surreal. There we go. Okay. Um, so now I'm gonna go and get my beach chair actually. And here, I only want the umbrella. I don't want the chairs. So this is another good time where I probably don't want to just remove the background. I probably want to come over here and use in this case, I think I'm going to use my object selection tool because when I come over here, if I click on this object, it's going to just do this one single object, which is really kind of an easy way to do that. If there's that way, I don't select the chairs. So I'm going to take this in to my untitled, and I'm going to put my thing here. I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to turn this a little bit. So I'm going to take my cursor outside of the rectangle. Sort of want this to be here in sort of a festive way. This is in layer 6. So I want this also to be behind my, um, my head. Okay, so it comes here. And I think I want to make this a little brighter. So let me come into here and I want this to pop a little bit. So I've selected this layer, it's layer 6, and then I'm going to come down here to the FX. Okay, so I'm going to apply some styles. I'm going to go to the blending options, which gives me all of the options. And I'm going to try some things. I'm going to try inner glow. What does that look like? No. Inner glow here. If I click on the word, it gives me a lot of options to go from there. I'm going to do gradient overlay. No, I don't want to do that. Outer glow. Okay, maybe I'll do that. And then I'm going to make my outer glow, I'm going to make the size a little smaller. So it just has a little bit of a white thing in them. And okay, I'm going to apply that. And then I'm also going to go up here to my, um, to go to my image. So hold on one second. I want to make sure that you can see my full screen. So excuse me while I adjust this a little bit. So I've got this here. I'm going to go over to image adjustment and I'm going to change my brightness. Actually, I think I'm going to make it darker and I'm going to make the contrast more. Okay. So I want to make sure you can see that. Okay. Let me see what this whole thing looks like now. Actually, I think I need to make that a little bigger. Okay. And now I'm going to go to my map of Europe. Here, I'm going to just remove background. So I'm going to remove my background. It's going to take a second. And then I'm going to, you know what? I have to get rid of some of my things up here now because I can't see my untitled yet right now. So I'm going to take this, go up to untitled, and then bring it down here. Okay. And so this is, I brought this down. It's lower than my head, so it's going to go behind my head. And this is one where I think I'm going to make sure that I do my FX on this. So I'm coming down here to do a layer style, blending option. And in real time, I can see what this looks like. So I'm going to do a drop shadow. Okay, I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to try this bevel and emboss, which is kind of cool because it gives it sort of a 3D look. And get rid of the drop shadow. So I just have the bevel. And so I'm going to do that. And I'm going to say, okay, I want that. Um, and I think I'm going to do this again. Okay. And the last thing I'm going to do right. Nope. I'm going to do two more things. I'm going to do the toddler. I'm going to remove the background. I was thinking with this one of my grandchildren and how I miss them and how they're in my head. So I've got this little girl who I'm going to bring into here. And she is, by the way, a generic girl, not my real person. So I'm going to put her behind the cookies. I'm going to put her all the way down behind the cookies. Okay. And so she's here. And then I've got one more thing that I'm going to bring, and this is kind of a weird thing, but I'm going to come up here to the oven. This happened to already be um, a um, a cutout, so I didn't have to remove the background. I just selected subject. I'm going to bring it up here, and I'm going to take it here. I'm going to make this quite a bit smaller. Okay. Um, and I'm going to skew it. I think this is going to go behind everything. This is kind of, some of these things are a little weird. I think I might have changed, in particular, the cookies at some point. So I'm going to make sure this goes behind everybody, including the girl, but not behind the bookcase. Okay, so I have to be pretty careful about my layers, what I'm doing here. And I'm going to, with this one, I'm going to really work to make let me just hold on just a second. I need you guys to make sure that you see my images. So I've got this is my oven. And I'm going to go to my image and I'm going to use my adjustments. I'm not going to use my mode. I'm going to use my brightness and contrast. I'm going to make this a little less bright. I'm going to make the contrast a little different. I just want to kind of do this a little bit different. And then what I'm going to do is I'm also going to go up here. Instead of effects, I'm going to use modes. And I want to make this a little bit more posterized. So this is a hard light. I want to make sure that people still understand that's an oven. So I'm going to kind of try some different things. But so far, I kind of like the hard light the best. So I'm going to go with that. And so this is what I've got so far. And so let me show you what this looks like. Okay. So this is my self-portrait so far. And then a lot of times the artist puts in some clouds. So I'm going to try some clouds. So here I am. This is a cutout too. So I'm going to select the subject and I'm going to take it into the untitled and bring it down. Okay. That actually looks awesome. I'm not even going to change it a lot. And I'm going to make a lot of clouds. So remember, I have to deselect, then I hold down my Alt, then I select, and then I bring it down. Okay. So I'm going to put this cloud, I'm going to let go, and I want that cloud to come up a little bit. So I'm going to bring that cloud up. Okay. And I think I'm going to make this cloud a little smaller. And I'm going to make it a lot more transparent. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to go into, let me actually go into here and just kind of see if I can change. I'm going to click on this. So I'm going to say done. I've clicked it. And then I'm going to go to image adjustments. And actually, I'm sorry. You know what? I'm going to go over here. I'm clicked on here. I'm going to do my opacity different. And the opacity here, did you see how that changed into just a little whisper of something? I kind of like the way that looks. And so I think I'm going to make another one. So I'm going to click on Alt. I'm going to click on here, and then I'm going to take one down. And this one I'm going to keep behind that little girl. And I think I'm going to do one more cloud. So I could get different clouds, but this one's looking great. So I'm going to click on Alt, click on the image, and then bring one down. And this particular one, I'm going to look up here on where I am. I think where I am here is layer 10. And this one, I'm going to move up because I'd like to see this on top of things, but I'm going to bring the opacity way down. And I think I'm going to make it so it's not quite on me. Okay, so this is what I've got. If I had more time, no, this wasn't just a quick demonstration, I think there's some things I would do differently. But here's what I've got. I think one of the things I would have done differently is make myself quite a bit bigger. And then probably maybe posterize her a little bit. So I'm going to go into a different mode because I want her to look a little bit more ghost-like. So vivid light, linear light, vivid light. Okay, so she looks a little bit more ghost-like that way. Okay. So once I've done this, I'm going to do a quick export as a PNG, and then that's what I'm going to be submitting. Okay,